Hello and welcome. Today we'll be going through some tips that you might have already known, or maybe they're completely new to you, but hopefully they will help you, and let's go through them. At first you want to start with the usual, which are your water productions, your log productions, and your food setup. That is very true for both factions. The thing is, as soon as you get your carrots set up and working with the folktails, there is really no need for them to take up space with the berry bushes. So as soon as your carrots start coming in and you don't need to have any more use for your berries, just get rid of them, get that real estate back, and plant more crops, because the berries are not nutritious. They don't give any bonuses. They're not listed here. There is absolutely no need to keep them in your map if you're playing with the folktales. Another thing you want to do as soon as you can, when you have enough logs and you have your first water reservoirs and your farming set up, you want to get to your dams. Your dams you want to place as far away from your district center as you can do, and where it is still only one layer, and you want to do it in a shortest length possible so that you can get it up before the first drought. Once you get those in place, it will block the water from spilling over right away, and you will have a backup of your water inside the river until where it goes, and that will help you through your first drought. What you also want to consider is that fertile land is very precious. You need it for your big farmlands and you need it for your forestry areas. So as long as you can build the rest of your city on the dry ground, that will save all the precious real estate of fertile land for your actual farms, and you will be able to get more food and more trees planted. If you are having a map where there's not a lot of logs available at the beginning, make sure that you don't cut all the trees. Leave a couple unmarked so that they can actually spawn seedlings, and those seedlings will grow up to be real trees one day, and you will be able to cut those down instead. So if you have a map where you don't know if you will make a forester in time because you're quickly running out of logs, make sure that you leave a couple of trees untouched. In case you are not situated near a river, but instead you are situated near a large lake or a big open space of water, you want to build a dam regardless, but you cannot block it off completely. What you can do instead is pick a corner and place a couple of dams right around it. This will keep the water in a little bit longer, and it might save you from your drought. This is only a thing that currently works. They have tried to change this by making the evaporation of water change a little bit, but they reverted that change back. So they might still be changing this, but for now this still works. You might want to consider unlocking the water dump as soon as you can if you are near a lot of dry land and you do not have any way of blowing things up and don't have any dynamite. What you can do is you can take a couple of levees, you can place them in a circle, you can take the water dump, you can place it on top, and you can put the staircase in front of it, connect it up, and this will now become fertile land as soon as the beavers get some water to it. So there we go. It is now fertile land. and this little water dump area will keep it fertile for a while. Of course, as soon as you unlock the dynamite, this is still a pretty neat trick, because you can just blow a hole in the ground and you will no longer need to use the levees, and you can make the water dam or the water dump like this. With the recent additions to well-being for the beavers and your basic needs, we now have this option of wet fur. And to get the wet fur buff, you need your beavers to walk into water. So what is easier for them to get wet fur than having their houses in a cul-de-sac and forcing them to walk through water when they're getting out of their homes. This way they will get wet fur whenever they go home, whenever they walk out. You can make this path as long as you can. The longer the better, because the longer they stay in the water, the higher up this buff goes, and the longer it takes for it to go down again. So yeah, that is a very good thing to do. You can also just use the river and make it like this, and make sure that their living areas on the one side and their work areas on the other side. That will help a lot as well. Now, sometimes you are moving around the map and you are looking at places and you are trying to quickly get back to your main district. What you can do is you can save your camera position. You can do this by pressing Ctrl plus V, and you can then scroll wherever you want, and pressing V from Victor again, you get back to the camera state that you saved previously. So if you like this angle and you save it and you scroll around the map and you press V again, you are back at where you saved your camera angle. Your beavers generally work 16 hours a day. That is their default setting, but you can change that up here. You can change it up or down. I usually set them to 18 hours, but it is especially useful when you are trying to finish that one dam and you see that in a couple of days your drought is going to be there and they can make it, but they will have to work all the hours of the day. You set it to 24 hours and they will finish that dam. Just make sure you don't keep that setting too long, or they will get exhausted and they will not be happy about that. So make sure you change it back once you're finished with that job. The range of where your beavers can build and get to and place their buildings is not endless. Your district center has a maximum range, which is shown by your pathing, and the darker red it goes, the further it is for them to walk until they can no longer reach the red line. The end will be the last part, or of where you can still connect buildings where they can work. So that would be right over here. If we place a house like this, it will still connect, but if we place it on the other side, it will say no building or not connected to any district center. However, the beavers can reach for 10 more tiles for building beyond the red point of the area. Of course, you can also go this way with your path, and that will work the same way. We can go a little bit further this way now, but we still have only a maximum range there. Once you get your first forester built, make sure you diversify your trees a little bit in the beginning, because you don't want to wait for your maple trees to grow, because they take 30 days to grow. Instead, diversify it by placing a couple of rows of birches, a couple of rows of pines, and then do some maple. And if you want, you can also add some chestnuts. So yeah, diversify your tree setup, especially in the beginning, because that will make sure you get your logging set up as quickly as you can. Birches take 9 days, pines take 12 days, maple takes 30 days, and chestnuts take 24 days to grow, and they all yield different number of logs. Power is transferred through buildings, so it is very useful to connect your power generation up to your buildings and have the buildings transfer the power over. And as you can see here, we added the houses and they transfer the power all the way down the mountain, and the lumber mill is spinning, and that will save you a lot of finagling with your power shafts, and you don't have to go down all this way with the vertical power shafts, because you know that costs gears, and you can as well do it through buildings. This is especially useful for the large row houses that the Iron Teeth have. They reach up 4 blocks, so you can easily get up 4 blocks. They are 2 by 1 as a footprint, and they reach up 4 blocks. It's very easy to connect power to those and use it as vertical power, because you can also stack them, and you can do the same with the folktails, of course. You can stack buildings and the power will transfer all the way up, and we still have power on top here. So make sure that you use that to your advantage. And a simple tip to use the bonus from your shrubs is to place them near your houses, because your beavers will spend a lot of time sleeping, and while they're sleeping they will be adding to their bonus from the shrubs. So if they spend time around the shrub while in their bed, they will add to the shrub bonus, and that is a forestry speed of +40, and this is especially useful in your forestry districts. And as a bonus tip, this is one that is really important if you are like me and you dislike the design of this ugly thing, the number cruncher. You can hide it underwater under your platforms. So if you are the Iron Teeth, you place 4 of these bad boys, you make them like this, you grab the number crunchers, you go down and you place them in a specific way. You can place 4 of them exactly correct like this, and you will have a nice design, and you will have 4 hidden number crunchers, and you will never have to look at them ever again. They're hidden. You can power them, you can run down power shafts, and they're gone from out of sight, out of mind. It's great. Hide those. So those were my tips. I hope you have enjoyed them, and I hope they're useful for you. Let me know some of your tips that you would like to give other players on playing Timberborn. If you have enjoyed this video, please make sure I know by hitting that like button. If you have not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. It would help me out by growing my channel. I also stream on Twitch, and we have a Discord server. Both of those links are in the description. Thank you all for stopping by. I'll be back with more Timberborn very soon. Bye for now.